there are going to be some people who are going to be very happy in the next week as the Oscar nominations come out. And
March
Dave,
15th.
why don't we talk about who we think is going to get nominated? We're going to do just the major categories. We're not going to do lighting and costume. We probably aren't going to get those ones. Well, those ones are actually probably fairly easy to figure out. But what feels hard is best picture, director. There's only probably one open spot. Who's going to get that? So why don't
Yeah,
we
yeah.
jump in? Why don't we start with the best picture noms? What feels like the locks for this upcoming Oscar noms?
Yeah, so at this point, we have nominations from SAG Awards, PGA, and the Writers Guild. Of course, the Globes has happened, and the Critics' Choice Awards also happened, but that's not as impactful on what happens with the Academy. But I think at this point, there's like a nice block of, say, 5 films that we can lock in for Best Picture. Minari, Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and One Night in Miami. They have been nominated by just about everything. Notably, Nomadland wasn't nominated for a Writers Guild nomination or SAG, but of course it won at the Globes. It won
Mhm.
at the Critics' Choice. It's considered the favorite. So like that group, so Nomadland's safe. That group, I feel like, is in Best Picture. This is a question of like how many more get picked and which movies those are. Judas and the Black Messiah, late entry, has a lot of juice as of late, but didn't get nominated for everything. Mank, same way. And then I don't know. After that, you have The Five Bloods, which is one of the oldest movies here. Sound of Metal, Borat 2, maybe. Promising Young Woman, probably in there as well. So like I feel like we know the names at this point. There's probably not going to be any like major surprises. Like I don't think Palm Springs is going to get nominated for Best Picture. Maybe screenplay. I'd be very happy if it did get screenplay, but I feel like we kind of know the general field for top contenders at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Like, what would be a nomination that would surprise me, but I probably shouldn't be surprised at for this field? Something like if Soul made it in there. Do you
Mm.
think Soul's gonna like has any
Yeah,
shot? I could
that,
see it.
yeah, that's a good solid one actually. Soul, yep. Maybe
Eh,
News of the World, I guess, which is kind of
yeah,
love
that
intermittently.
that'd be really disappointing to me if that got in there. I also feel like Promising Young Woman. I feel like that's kind of on the edge of nominations, only because I know that there's been I think some critical backlash to it. Um, uh, I think highly lauded, but some people feel a bit problematic and maybe not totally make sense all the way through. So I can see that one maybe surprising me a bit, but yeah, it's weird because in a year where there's so much newness and change in the way everybody watched movies this year, it does kind of feel like there's just like a set group of movies that are going to get the nomination and just kind of going to roll with it.
Right.
Anything you would love to see that you don't think will get in, but would be really happy about?
Yeah, just on Promising Young Woman, it didn't get SAG, but it's gotten everything else to this point, so I think it's pretty safe for Best Picture nomination. In terms, yeah. So thinking to my list, right? Like stuff that's not going to happen, like First Cow, never
Hmm.
really, sometimes, always, stuff like that. Trying to think of like what's something that's like plausible that
Malcolm and Marie,
I don't think is plausible. I don't think it's
Pieces of a
plausible.
Woman.
Mm,
Oh,
I,
Hillbilly Elegy.
oh God, that's the thing. I think unfortunately we have to talk about that movie still. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, some there's a few things that like there's been like no juice to it, right? Like Kingsley Ben-Adir, I really thought he could have made Oscar push, but he hasn't really been nominated at all, which is unfortunate despite all the plaudits for his performance. So why could I say that would happen now?
Yeah.
Zendaya got just a Critics' Choice nomination. That's it. So it doesn't feel like she can sneak into the last Best Actress spot we've talked about as being up in the air. You know,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
maybe when we see the nominations, we'll have a better idea in a week. But there might actually be less surprise than we expect. I don't know.
Yeah, it's seeming that way. Why don't we go to best director, where um, I think we kind of have an idea of probably the at least three or four of them, right? So
Yeah,
Zoe Chow, David Fincher, Lee Isaac Chung, and Sorkin feel pretty safe for this, I'd say.
Zoe Chow. That's good.
Oh, Chloe Zhao. Oh man, I am exhausted. So my apologies to the great and Golden Globe winning Chloe Zhao. But
Yes.
yeah, those four feel pretty safe to me. But who do you got in that fifth spot, Dave?
Yeah, you said Zhao, Sorkin.
Chung and Fincher,
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think the fifth spot,
Regina King.
Regina King or Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. Um, Other than those, I don't. I think that might be it, unless the father like really happens. That would be awfully disappointing if Florian Zeller is not her best director for the father. We haven't seen the movie yet. Sony
Mhm.
Pictures Classics is putting the movie out, meaning they wait to the last possible moment to show it to you, so that we don't get to see that till the end of this month. But like Shaka King for best director, I don't think that's happening for Judas. Spike has been missing just as many noms as he's gotten for Defy Blood, so I doubt it. Um, and then there's other stuff like stuff we consider like a best picture, safe bet, like George C. Wolfe for Ma Rainey, and even Regina King for One Night in Miami, because those movies are stage adaptations and not the most cinematic stuff. I think that hurts the director case.
Yeah,
Like Darius Martyr, I don't know if he's a big enough name. Sound of Metal's director.
I don't think this is something that they would take into account, but it would be pretty disheartening if we have maybe three of the best movies this year directed by black directors all miss, and there's no black directors nominated. Spike Lee, Regina King, and Shaka King, I think are
Right.
all deserving of that fifth spot. Probably not going to get it. Pretty disappointing to me.
Yeah, that's saying there's actually a lot of like really good choices, and then even someone who we don't think has any chance at all is like Paul Greengrass, who's
Hmm.
been nominated in the past.
Yep. I mean, Ron Howard, Hillbilly Elegy. Here we are talking about it again. So, um, best actress, Dave. Let's do that. I mean, Mulligan, Davis, McDormand, Andra
Kirby.
Day, Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Uh, Davis, McDormand, and Kirby and Mulligan have been nominated by SAG critics and Globes. Mulligan won the Critics' Choice, which was interesting. Andra Day won for the Golden Globes. So is Andra Day like the safe pick for the fifth spot? We talked about that fifth spot before. Because of the late breaking nature of it, she was not picked at SAG. So who knows? It's like we need like more information, right? And the other Globe winner was Rosamund Pike, which we don't expect that to continue. So this might end up being pretty cut and dry with the four we've talked about plus Andra Day. Amy Adams surprisingly did get a SAG nomination in Andra Day's place, but I don't know. Like that'd be something if they ended up picking Amy Adams just because it's for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any shot for Zendaya? You think?
don't think so. Like I said, just
Ah,
Critics' Choice to this point.
it's too bad.
Should note we're doing this right before the BAFTA nominations get announced, which is a little more information, as well as the DGAs. So um, more predicting information coming shortly. But yeah, I think it's really like we have these six names at this
Yeah.
point. We'll see.
And as we move on to Best Actor, I think the nomination field is a little bit less predictable than Best Actress, but I feel like we already know who's going to win this category as we go in.
Yeah.
We have Chadwick Boseman, who is almost a certain lock to be nominated, and I would say probably win for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Won twice already.
And from there, the short list for the other nominations feels like Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, Gary Oldman, Stephen Yeun, maybe Delroy Lindo, uh, you know, Kingsley Benadir, maybe.
No, that's the thing.
Uh,
Kingsley Bandier is no none of the major nominations, so I don't know how you could pick it.
I would love
Um,
him to get it though.
so Chadwick, Hopkins, Riz, and Oldman have gotten SAG, Critics, and Globe nominations at this point. Stephen Yeun got SAG and Critics' Choice, didn't get Globes. Remember, Minari kind of put off to the side by the Globes, so asterisk there. But the Delroy Lindo case, we talked about it. We thought it was like really, really safe, but he's really fallen off the race, unfortunately, with only getting a critics nomination. Um, Tom Hanks, Ben Affleck, same thing. Tahar Rahim got the Globe nomination again. Not something I expect to keep going. So it feels like Stephen Yeun got in, and I think it's safe at this point.
I hope so. Definitely deserving. Check out our Minari review. Um, all right, we're gonna do two more categories. Best Supporting Actress. Dave, Olivia Colman for The Father is the favorite.
Yep.
Um, I think Amanda Seyfried feels pretty safe.
Yep.
Yu Jung Young from Minari, I
Yep.
think, is a pretty good bet. Is Glenn Close really going to get in this from Hillbilly Elegy, though?
I think so because she
Oh,
got
no.
SAG, Critics, and Globe nominations at this point. Again, we'll see what happens in a day with the BAFTAs, but it feels kind of safe, People,
Oh, no.
but like it's annoying to me because like she's not gonna win.
Yeah.
So why would we doing this?
Yeah.
Uh,
You don't have to give her this
it's weird
nomination.
too because Seyfried did not get nominated by SAG, which really surprised me.
Mhm.
That's the actors deciding too. Um, they picked Maria Bakalova instead, and she also won the Critics' Choice nomination and did not get nominated by Globe. So this one's kind of all up in the air. And of course, Jodie Foster won the other one at the
Right.
Globes. So, uh, and Helena Zengel from News of the World has been nominated twice to this point, and Ellen Burstyn got a Critics' Choice Award nomination. So this one's kind of up in the air. Definitely hard. Definitely no way of saying who's going to win. We definitely don't know that.
So if there's going to be a surprise, which I doubt there is, I could see Saoirse Ronan for Ammonite being nominated only
Okay.
because she is like that Oscar darling,
Yeah.
or she just gets
Yeah.
nominated every time she's up. But I don't know if the Glenn Close of this is just putting a bad taste in my mouth. I'm thinking about her with those bug eyes and those Coke bottle
Yeah.
glasses, and it's
I mean, I'd say I like Glenn Close better than Amy Adams in Hellbell Elegy. Like, if I have to pick
yeah,
one, I'd pick that one. So, and as far
but
as
you
Ammonite
don't
goes, I
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to pick one.
you're right. We don't. As far as Ammonite goes, I did finally check that out, and it's like someone tried to make Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but just did not have like the chemistry angle to it. So the movie is quite flat. So I don't know if anyone's like chopping at the bit to nominate Saoirse, given how many nominations she has at such a young age.
Yeah,
But also like Helena Zengel, like it's good, but she's like 12. Do we have to nominate a 12-year-old? Like, give her like the Rising Star nomination stuff. Isn't that good enough? I don't
well,
know.
if the performance deserves it, I guess I
But
don't
do
know.
you think that's like a really like amazing performance for this kind of award because she's barely speaking words half the time?
Yeah, I mean, I did think she was pretty good in the movie. I don't know if I would put her above any of the top 7 people we
Right.
named,
Well,
but
I just a little worried about Amanda Seyfried missing, which I think would be a big mistake. That's all.
yeah, I mean, I hope she makes it too. Loved her in Mank, but last one, Dave, best supporting actor. Daniel Kaluuya seems pretty safe.
Yep,
Just won
two
the
wins
Golden
already
Globe. Sasha Baron Cohen
Yep.
seems pretty safe.
For
From
Chicago
there,
7, not Borat, which was the lead.
I think it's maybe a little more open. Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami.
Yep.
Paul Racy for Sound of Metal, which would
Yep.
be awesome if he got the nom. Chadwick Boseman for The Five Bloods is up there. Mark
Mhm.
Rylance, Trial of Chicago 7 seems like he might get up there. Jared Leto.
Yes.
Jared Leto? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Who else is in this list?
Also, I would also know Bill Murray, who was nominated by critics and Globes. And Leto, like, yeah, it's not just the Globes. He also got a SAG nomination. So it's like it's quite plausible that Jared Leto is nominated for Best Supporting Actor for The Little Things, which would be
Twisted.
insane. Um, the Chadwick Boseman double nom, getting the nom for To Five Bloods, that'd be interesting because I don't think that's a lock, but he's gotten some noms for that so far. So this one's a little hard to pin down. Um, it feels like the momentum's strictly behind Coolio winning it at this point, but
Yeah.
there's a handful of names, and like you said, Chicago 7. There's a few other guys that could make in. Probably Rylands would be the other one to sneak in there. But like Paul Racy for Sound of Metal, it feels like that's kind of sputtered out after the early critics stuff, and he hasn't really kept that going. But we'll see.
Would love it if he got the nom, but
Yeah.
yeah, it really just feels like Coolia's category. So, any other categories you want to give quick
I mean,
predictions
it's
for?
kind of a little hard to pick the screenplays right now, but I mean, we do have the Writers Guild nominations. Like I said, it is kind of notable to me that Mank, Defy Bloods, Minari, and Nomadland, none of those movies got original or adapted screenplay nominations, despite we all think they're very safe Best Picture nominations. So I think that's interesting, just because predicting Best Picture might be a little more challenging this year. That's one of the things we would use, right? Um, Judas did get a Writers Guild nomination, which is a great sign. Yeah, in terms of other things I'm looking for, like Best Animated Feature, we expect Soul to win. We expect Wolf Walkers and Onward to also be there. What other two animated films do they pick? I don't know. Um, like Score, we expect Soul to win. Trent Reznor,
Mhm.
Atticus Ross. What other scores do they pick? Not really sure at the moment. Stuff like that.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, and we'll be talking about anything notable next week, so stay tuned for that.